Anderson for Unifon. Before I tell you what Unifon is, let me tell you why I think it's important. Today, almost half the world speaks English. It's easy to learn to speak our language, but who can spell it? Only spelling bee winners. The rest of us just muddle through. Well, not long ago, my wife asked me how to spell the word for the liver disease, cirrhosis. Well, I didn't know how to spell it either, so I wrote it down the way it sounded and went to look it up. Cirrhosis. I looked in 4 dictionaries under SIR. No luck. Well, how else could it be spelled? I tried SUR. No luck. Before I was finished, I had used all 5 vowels. No luck. Now, I recall that medical terms starting with that hissing S sound are sometimes spelled with a PS or an SC, so I looked under those letters as well. Still no luck. Finally, it dawned on me that I had a possible solution. A project I've been working on at the Unifon website is what we call a reverse dictionary. You can look up a word by the way it sounds to find out how to spell it in the traditional way. That application isn't finished yet, but I decided to try it out. And there it was. C-I-R-R-H-O-S-I-S. Cirrhosis starts with a C. I'd forgotten to look under C. Silly me. Look how that word is spelled in Unifon, though. It's the first sound-alike spelling I tried. Well, okay, that O in the middle is a little strange, but you recognize all the other letters, right? The point is this. When I know Unifon, I can use it to look up the correct spelling for any word I can say. The confusion about the word cirrhosis did remind me how bad the English spelling system is. I mean, just look at this mess. We use at least 7 different sounds for the letters EA. Fear, each, break, heart, earn, bear, and azalea. We use at least 7 sounds for the letters OU. Should, shoulder, shout, tour, touch, rouge, and courage. And if you add GH to OU, there are 6 more ways to pronounce those 4 letters. Tough, trough, though, through, thought, and thorough. Well, by now I hope you want to learn more about Unifon. That's why I'm here. We speak 40 sounds in English, but we only have 26 letters to represent the sounds. By definition, that's only half an alphabet. Unifon has 1 letter for each of the 40 sounds we speak. Each letter represents only 1 sound. In fact, the word Unifon means single sound. Unifon has been used in several pilot programs to speed up the process for children learning to read. What makes Unifon work? Children learn to write the sounds they speak. Their classmates read what they have written. Step by step, it takes from a week to a month for them to grasp all the sounds and combine them into words. In 3 months or less, they discover they can write any word they know. And here's why that's important. Your child attending public school typically learns to read just over 250 words each school year. By some estimates, children entering 1st grade today speak 15,000 words or more. Starting with Unifon, a child can write any of those words and spell them the way they sound in about 3 months. Now, which would you rather have? A child who can read and write 250 words after 1 year, or a child who can read and write more than 15,000 words in 3 months? I don't know. Sells itself. Well, let's try some familiar words and see how they compare in standard spelling to Unifon. K-A-T, for instance. Do you know what that word means? Of course. It's the way cat should be spelled. And guess what? In Unifon, that's exactly how you spell cat. Just the way it sounds, and just the way it should be spelled. Now look at the word cell. It starts with the same C we use to spell cat in traditional spelling. But do we say kell, No, this C has a different sound. It's the hissing S sound that threw me off in the word cirrhosis. Right away we have two different sounds for the letter C, a K sound and a S sound. And how about those two L's at the end of the word cell? Do we need two L's there? Not. If we just leave one off, could you guess what that word was? Maybe so, maybe not. But what if we change that first letter to S? Aha! That's the missing hissing sound we need for cirrhosis, isn't it? In fact, the letter C always sounds like either K or S. So why even use it? Good question. And that's why the Unifon alphabet doesn't have a C. Unifon does have 23 familiar letters. We have used 6 of them so far. Let's see how many words we can spell in Unifon with just those 6 letters. This first group is easy. All the words are spelled the same in both traditional and Unifon. The second group is spelled different in Unifon. How does this Unifon group differ from traditional spelling? The last group of words is spelled a lot different in Unifon, but say each sound and you should get the word right away. How did you do? Let's see. Just kick yourself if you didn't get these 5. At, sat, let, set, and ask. Unifon omits double letters at the end for less, tell, and sell. The only thing missing from the traditional spelling in these 3 words is the letter C because it's silent. Yes, there's that useless C again. Unifon doesn't use silent letters, so it omits the C from tack, sack, and lack. The last group is the real test. You had to say the sounds in the correct order in order to read these words. Axe, act, and else. Now all those words only used 6 sounds, but traditional spelling uses letters they don't need. Remember, in Unifon we spell words the way they would be spelled if our alphabet worked like alphabets are supposed to work. Consider that word else. I'll bet your first guess was to say it with a Z sound, and then think to yourself, is else a word? Well, no, it isn't. But the letter S in Unifon only ever stands for one sound, the hissing sound, so the word is else. If you need the Z sound like in cells or bells, guess what you use? Of course, a Z. Think of a word as a string of different sounds. Then think of Unifon as a string of letters that represent those sounds in the order they are sounded. Well, now that you're familiar with all the spelling rules for Unifon, seriously, you know all 2 of them, you can start learning the sounds of all the letters and practice writing and reading in Unifon. Use 1 letter for each sound you speak. No double letters. No silent letters. That's it. Simple, elegant. No confusion. No exceptions. See, if you follow the simplest rules, you can read and write English in Unifon. Now, adults who already read can learn Unifon in 2 hours or less. It helps to have a chart like this. You can download one of these at the Unifon website. When you can read Unifon, you can write Unifon. And if you can write something in Unifon, you can write everything in Unifon. In part 2, we'll learn the letters for the rest of the Unifon alphabet.